Hello and welcome to a very muddy, windy and wet plot 2A. So I thought, as we're now going to have lots of spare time on our hands, I thought I'd actually finally get round into doing a video update. So this is my rather messy plot that's been waterlogged, absolutely waterlogged for the last sort of 4 months, so bear with me, it will get better by the summer. So here's my 2 compost bins. So I have general waste in one and my leftover manure in the other. Excuse the mess everywhere, I've got a lot of mess to clear up. But as I say, now we're going to have time on our hands, we'll be able to get this done hopefully. Right, so this is the first of my raised beds. I have mustard sown in here for overwintering, so I need to hoe that off and get the ground ready. I have put in this end, I have put just the first of my few little onions. So these are Stuttgarter onions, and hopefully they will be quite nice and large for cooking with. That's the plan anyway. Okay, so bed 2. So last year I had my brassicas in here. I've got a kale at the end there that's just left as a stalk. I haven't got that one out. But I did have 2 butternut squash in here. They grew really well and gave me 2 squash each off each plant. So not massive, but that was good enough for us. And in here I also had sprouts. I have not mastered growing sprouts yet. They did not do well at all. They burst open and flowered kind of thing before they grew. I did stamp the ground down and I did make it as hard and compact as I possibly could, but still didn't do well on those. Had some red cabbages in the end. They grew really nicely and we had those to eat. And then there was also some other just general cabbages in here that I got from a local market. I can't remember the variety, but they were okay but didn't do great. So I am not an expert gardener. This is only my 2nd year growing veg and I'm very still learning very much on the job. In here I've just quickly hoed this over, so hoed the mustard over. I've got some garlic growing in the end here. That still seems to be going quite well. In here last year I had parsnips. They were amazing. They were really good. I also had some beetroot and some carrots in here. All did fairly well, but we'll try again this year to get more produce. I was working full time and I'm a mum last year, so it was all crazy hectic. So hopefully this year's the year for mass growing. In the end then we got a globe artichoke that grew really well and huge. I didn't eat it because I just thought, wow, lovely flowers, so I just kind of left that one to flower. Kind of in hindsight put it in the wrong place, didn't realise how big it actually gets. It was massive, took up this end of the bed. Okay, we've got my wildlife pond. Obviously it's been very wet lately, so massively overfilled and everything, but I've tried to clear a bit of it out, as you can see over there in the corner, to get some of the excess plantage out, which has obviously spurred my iris into growth, which is great. I have got a couple of toads and 1 frog I've seen in there. No frog spawn this year though, that is a bit of a shame, but never mind. In here I had stocks. Now these were like dwarf stocks. They flowered for a whole year solid. They've only just now died off. I couldn't believe how well they actually went all through the winter and everything. And I've forgotten what's in here. It was calendula, but I'm not sure what's in there now. Something's self-seeded anyway and has decided to take up root in there. Onto this bed. This had corn, so I had lots of sweet corn growing in here, and I grew the variety Popcorn Fiesta, the multicoloured. It was great. It was fabulous and it all grew really well. And then one day the rats came, or mice or whatever, and started stripping the plants, so I picked all the rest off, dried them out as well as I thought I could, to try and do popcorn with the kids with. Done it with the microwave method that I'd seen online. Yeah, that didn't work. I actually caught my microwave on fire, so maybe give that a miss again this year, maybe on such a mass scale, and I might just grow some regular sweet corn in here for eating, so that'd be good. In here at the moment I've got some I don't even know what these are. They went in last year, so long ago. They were supposed to be purple sprouting, but I don't think they really are. I don't know if you expert guys can tell me, but they're growing obviously very slowly at the moment. So that's that one. In this bed here, I had all my beans. So there was like peas at this end, or my legumes shall I say, peas at this end, and then runners in the middle, and then onions were at the other end. After the onions I put the leek straight in. Again, these have grown really well, but they've been sat in water for about 4 months. As you can see here, it's algae blooms and everything grown. I wonder if you guys could tell me, are these still going to be okay to pick and eat, or have they been sat in water so long they've got disease or bacteria living in them or something? I really like allium flowers and things, so if they are no good, I will just leave them to flower and they can give the bees something to go and use and stuff like that. Okay, over to this bed. So this is one of my newest beds, as you can see, just made from recycled materials that I found. In here I grew pumpkins, grew loads of pumpkins. They were amazing, but they cross-contaminated because they were saved seeds, and they come out as what we can think of as mumpkins. So they were pumpkins cross marrow. They were great, the kids loved them still, and they grew really well in that bed. Okay, at the back there we've got my shed and my water tank. I did have a flower bed in front of there with dahlias and things in. Again, just because of the mass water and that, everything's died off, rotted away. My amazing rose here is a rose from Poundland. Cost me £1, and it has just done amazingly and bloomed really well. And it's like a yellowy flower that turns to a pinky flower. It's lovely. I'll show you when it blooms. Yeah, so put my bug hotel up last year, only a little one. I did have bees in there. They've hatched out and disappeared, so that's great. That's obviously in use. My herb spiral. Well, sorry about the mess, but rather an overgrown herb spiral. So in there I've got mint, rosemary, lavender, and I think that's all that's kind of survived. We put a curry plant in twice in the front, but something underneath, whether it was a rat or a mole or something, really liked it and took 2 of those away. The mint's obviously died off, but you can see it's in there. It is slowly coming back. So that's my little herb spiral. Okay, over here, obviously, it's just where all the water is absolutely running in, and it's just going down and away, which is a bit of a shame. My lupins, they grew really well last year, had lovely flowers on there, and then in front of the lupins I had 2 geranium plants. Really nice, gave off a really nice show throughout the summer there. Okay, so I've just kind of covered this bit of ground, but glad I did, because there is still a river, a fully flowing river in here and underneath, unfortunately. So down here, these are 2 new beds. Now I do share this plot with my parents, and they've got the big bed over there at the front, and then this bed here. So there's nothing in those at the moment. This is my newest bed. Haven't planted anything in there, and glad I haven't, because again, it's just waterlogged. And then at the back, my husband made a massive bed. So we'll walk over to that one at the moment. In there at the moment, I do have strawberries growing just in that end. I've just hoed over everywhere, so excuse the mess, but I have just hoed it. So I've got some strawberries in this end. In this part last year, because it was only just finished the end of last year, this bed, I put in 2 blue squash, and they were lovely. They were really nice, and they grew really well in there. In here I put in some late broad beans, but the frost got them. They were no good, and that's kind of what's left. It's just didn't have anything off them, which was a bit of a shame, but never mind. When I took on this plot, I inherited some fruit bushes, so I've got some gooseberries in here and things, but I have just planted a apple tree in the front here from one of the supermarkets. It seems to be growing really well. It's sort of budding, so it seems to have transplanted absolutely fine. Not sure what to do with this area. If any of you have any ideas, that would be great. Just because I've got this weed everywhere. I can't remember how to pronounce its name, but it is growing absolutely everywhere, and it's a bit of a nightmare to try and get rid of. Where I can, as much as possible, I'm not using any chemicals or chemical pest control or anything. So any sort of ideas that you have that can help me clear the area and everything, other than lots of cardboard and manure, because that's what I did last year to get all these other beds up and running, which I can't physically afford to do again this year, would be great. Okay, over there last year, all those sticks, that is what's the remainder of our Jerusalem artichokes. They made a great wall across the back there and a barrier. So going back round, we'll head into the polytunnel. Do excuse the mess in here. Oh, so boggy. Okay, so that's going to be my tea shed. I'm going to make that area. That one's my tool shed, and this will be a tea shed. So I'm hoping to have some nice cups of tea and invite the plot neighbours over for tea. At the moment, it's just there's nothing really in there, and it's leaking. The roof is leaking, so I need to sort that out. But for the time being, that can just stay closed. Okay, into our homemade kind of polytunnel. Picked up a kitchen free off the internet. Popped in there, made a bit of a potting bunch. Now that you can see that this is where I stored all my squash. I didn't think about the rats coming in and taking them all, but they did. They ate the lot. And I also had sunflower heads saved. Again, rats and mice and things come in at the lot. As I say, I'm a complete beginner really, so it's live and learn and decide that things need to be locked away and sealed. Same with some of the seeds I had saved. I didn't put them in a container, they were in a cardboard box, so the mice got in and ate them. So that's my parents' bit over there, and then this is my area. So I've got in this bed last year I had squash in here, and I think my sunflower that I chucked in there is actually seeded, which is nice, so I'll leave that one to grow. So squash in that end. This end had loofahs. That's the remainder of my loofahs. Out of the two plants I had two loofahs, and they kind of just, I left them as long as it said to go sort of really dark brown on the plant before picking them, which I did. But they basically just disintegrated inside. So again, any helpful information is greatly received, because I would like to grow loofahs. Maybe I just had the wrong variety or something last year. In this bed I had sweet peppers, a exploding cucumber which a neighbour gave me. That grew massive and had loads on it. It grew right the way up across. It was amazing. Peppers didn't do so well. They were very, very small. And then I had this end, I had regular cucumbers, which were amazing. Grew loads and loads and loads of them. The kids ate them, kept eating them, and they were brilliant, fantastic. We'll grow them again this year. I did have strawberries in the hanging baskets, but again, I've taken them outside. So they are now the ones that are outside. So that's kind of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in here this year. I'm going to top up the beds. And then start to grow some like salads and things. I would like to try again with peppers. Obviously I wouldn't grow squash in here again. They were pumpkins. I just grew them in here because it was dead space and I had some left over, so I popped them in. But this year I will think about what I'm actually going to plant in here. I'd love to grow watermelon or melons and things like that, so I will have a go at that, I think. But like, yeah, everywhere needs loads of tidying up. Everything's just got a bit sort of boggy, weedy, messy, not looked after. So I'm just going to shut that door. Yeah, so that's my plot. Like I say, not had it long. This is only into the second. I've done like 2 years here, but the first year was just this side and it was just growing a few little things. So yeah, getting the ground prepped really. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my little tour. I'm hoping to do another one sort of, obviously when I start doing more on the ground it is still absolutely sodden, and hopefully keep you updated with things. But always great to hear from anybody with lots of advice and stuff, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now.